First unit syllabus undi mass transfer 1 of diffusion. Okay, principles of diffusion. Mass transfer is nothing but transfer of mass from one phase or one region to another region. That particular region depends on that particular transport phenomena. Okay, whether it may be the transfer of heat, transfer of mass, or transfer of some pressure. Okay, you already seen about the fluid mechanics. Okay, number 17 ఎవరు రిక్వెస్టింగ్ కంట్రోల్ అడుగుతున్నారు. హలో, నెంబర్
సార్
7.
నేనే సార్ 17 కామెంట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ రిక్వెస్ట్ కంట్రోల్ ఉంది. అది దేనికి వస్తుందా అని నొక్కినా. అది మీకు వస్తుందా? ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే, డినై చేస్తున్నాను. ఓకే okay, then first unit is principles of diffusion. Okay, diffusion means it's a one type of phenomena for the transfer of mass from one phase to another phase, or one region to another region. Okay, first unit is overall about a diffusion. Okay, in this there are 4 types of cases. The first case is the first case is A through non-diffusing B. In this unit, particularly 4 cases are important, in which the first case is A through non-diffusing B. Meaning of this case is A through non-diffusing B means only A can transfer to B, not the B can transfer to A. So, okay, only one direction is possible. A can transfer towards B, but B cannot transfer towards A. Okay, this is a steady state case in which a laminar flow is taking place. And then equimolar counter diffusion. The next major case is equimolar counter diffusion. That means the flux of A is inversely proportional, negative sign of flux of B. Na is equal to minus Nb. Okay, we will discuss more detail when we are undergoing the derivations for this type of cases. And the first one is role of diffusion in mass transfer. Okay, there are 2 types of diffusion in mass transfers. One is simple diffusion or molecular diffusion. In a general terms, we will refer to as a simple or molecular diffusion, or simply a diffusion. Okay, this is nothing but a laminar flow diffusion or a laminar flow mass transfer. And second one is eddy diffusion. Okay, maybe you have studied in the fluid mechanics or momentum transfer, whatever the course which is designated as whether it may be fluid mechanics or mass transfer. Okay, we have seen about eddy viscosity and normal viscosity. In a similar fashion, in the mass transfer also, it is defined as a molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. Okay, molecular diffusion. Then what is molecular diffusion? Molecular diffusion is nothing but the transfer of mass from one region to another region, which is taking place when the transfer is in a laminar flow. The transfer of mass when the diffusion is taking place in a eddy region or a turbulent region is nothing but eddy diffusion. Okay, in which in the eddy diffusion generally a wakes or a clusters will be formed. Okay, then only the mass transfer will take place. Generally, the compared to molecular diffusion, eddy diffusion is very fast. Okay, I will give you a few more examples on this molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion in the later classes. And next topic is molar flow rate, velocity and flux. Okay, in order to gauge any type of operation, whether it may be a mass transfer operation, fluid mechanics or a heat transfer operation, we need to define what are the gradients. Okay, what are the flow rates, what are the gradients, what are the fluxes. Flux is nothing but the quantity which can be measured. Okay, the quantity of the transfer process which can be measured in terms of fluxes. Okay, flux can be defined as the amount of matter that can be transferred per unit time per unit area is nothing but flux. Whether it may be heat transfer, in the heat transfer it is referred as heat transfer flux. In the mass transfer it is referred as mass transfer flux. In the fluid mechanics, the flux is nothing but shear stress. Okay, probably you would have seen about the Newton's law of viscosity in the fluid mechanics or momentum transfer. What is the shear stress? Newton's law of viscosity, stress is directly proportional to shear rate, or shear stress is directly proportional to shear rate. Tau is equal to minus mu du by dy, where tau is shear stress and minus mu is nothing but a viscosity, and minus du by dy is a velocity gradient. Okay, minus sign signifies that mass gradient in velocities. Okay, the velocity is transferring from higher region to lower region to higher region, so the gradient minus is incorporated in the particular transfer mechanism. And next, coming to the heat transfer. In a heat transfer, it is referred to as, the flux is referred to as heat transfer flux, which is many times it can be discussed, it can be denoted as q of x, q subscript x. X denotes the particular direction of heat transfer, whether it may be a x coordinate side or y coordinate side or next z coordinate side. Okay, I will discuss okay these fluxes in detail in the next probably classes. And next I will just outline the syllabus whatever it is there in the first unit. Okay, next topic is relationship between diffusivities and diffusion. Okay, here the diffusivity as a like in the fluid mechanics, the proportionality constant is nothing but viscosity. In the heat transfer, the proportionality constant is nothing but thermal diffusivity, or what we call thermal coefficient K. And in the mass transfer, it is nothing but diffusivity. Generally, this diffusivity is referred to as DAB, D subscript A capital B, which is meaning diffusivity of A through B. A through B, meaning A is diffusing towards B. Okay, then we have to discuss about the relationship between diffusivities and diffusion, DAB, how this diffusivity of A is related to diffusivity of B, how this diffusivity is related to A and B, C, D, etc. n number of components. Whereas for your particular syllabus, only two component system is assumed. You don't have to go for the higher order or a higher component system. Only DAB is your syllabus concern. And next one is fixed first law of diffusivity. Okay, largely we are dealing with the mass transfer using the molecular diffusion criteria. So in the molecular diffusion criteria, only the fixed first law of diffusivity will play a role. Okay, you probably seen a fluid mechanics course in which the Newton's law of viscosity, which is the governing equation for the transfer of fluid from one place to another place, which is tau is equal to minus mu du by dy. In the heat transfer flux Qx is equal to minus k dt by dx. dt by dx is nothing but temperature gradient, change in temperature with respect to x coordinate. dt means change in temperature, T2 minus T1, by dx means spatial coordinates towards the x direction, means x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1, higher minus lower. Okay, in this type, in the mass transfer also, there is a diffusion, first law of diffusivity equation, which is derived by the author Fick's. Okay, which is popularly known as Fick's first law of diffusion. Then what is the Fick's first law of diffusion? Fick's first law of diffusion is nothing but the relationship between the transfer of mass from one region to another region. And next we will have a Fick's second law of diffusion also for the all three directions, three spatial coordinates. We will have a Fick's second law of diffusion. It's a popular derivation every time in the old question papers of yours. This derivation is frequently encountered. And then next topic is diffusivity in liquids. Diffusivity in liquids. Okay, diffusivity in liquids and diffusivity of gases. These two are, gases and liquid are very much differentiable. So diffusivities are also highly influential, whether it may be a gas or liquid. Okay, these are highly influential, like Wilkie-Chang equation. Okay, Wilkie equation, Stefan's equation, this type of correlations which are deduced to the deduced through the experiments. A series of experiments will be conducted by a particular author or a particular scientist, who will give a correlation which is experimentally valid correlation in order to estimate the properties of a particular mass transfer operation. Frequently this mass transfer operation is estimated in terms of diffusivities, DAB. Okay, many equations are given like Wilkie-Chang equation. Wilkie-Chang equation is applicable for the diffusivity in liquids. Okay, which is nothing but 117.3 into nu b psi. Okay, these are the terminologies which are involved. We will discuss later. Okay, like for the gases also, there is a Wilkie equation which is involved minus 10 power minus 4 into nu a into psi, etc. These are the terminologies which are involved, which the authors have put efforts in conducting experiments, and they have given a particular correlation which is valid for certain certain regions of mass transfer. And next one is mass transfer coefficients and two resistance theory. Okay, mass transfer coefficients. Okay, we will derive a diffusivities for the four cases. For what we call for the four cases: A through non-diffusing B and A through equimolar counter diffusion. These are the two major cases. In that, each case contains a two sub cases. Okay, for these four cases, we will have a discussion about mass transfer coefficient. Okay, like in a heat transfer coefficient, which is denoted by H. In the mass transfer also, this is denoted by K. Okay, for the diffusion, for the diffusivities and diffusion for the higher order. In case of turbulent flows, the mass transfer coefficients are involved. In case of laminar flows, the diffusivities, the individual diffusivities are involved. In the turbulent flow, we can't predict the diffusivity of individual
Excuse
components.
me, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Can't hear you properly.
Same problem with everybody. Hello, Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Your voice is not audible clearly, sir.
Okay, it seems everything is okay on my side. Network is okay
Yes, sir.
on your side.
Yes, sir.
Now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Now it is audible.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then next one is mass transfer coefficients. Okay, as in the case of heat transfer coefficient, there are many mass transfer coefficients are also involved, which are denoted by KL for the liquid phase and KG for the gas phases. Okay, for the large mass transfer operation, like in a distillation column, in an absorption column, we can't define for each component diffusivities. Okay, diffusivities are related only in terms of laminar flows. Okay, for the mass transfer in the turbulent region, we have to define certain coefficients or certain constants. Okay, that's not nothing but mass transfer coefficients. Okay, these mass transfer coefficients are related or predicted by certain theories, like theories of film theory, penetration theory, two resistance theory. These are the theories which are involved. 4 to 5 theories are involved, which are nothing but experimental correlations. They have predicted some of the values for the mass transfer coefficients. They have related the regions, gas and liquid phase regions, through their experiments. Okay, we will discuss this. And last topic of this unit is experimental measurement of mass transfer coefficient by wetted wall coils. Okay, frequently in the laboratories or the industrial setup or the pilot scale plants, we use the wetted wall towers. Okay, wetted wall towers in which the film of a liquid will be flowed throughout the cross section of the wall. There, the transfer of gas from the surrounding region to that liquid film is gauged and then estimated in terms of a mass transfer coefficient. Okay, these are the these terminologies you need to first go through, and you have to decide. You have to first estimate the. You have to first have the idea about how these mass transfer coefficients or how these diffusivities are playing role in the mass transfer operations. Okay, I will share my live board. In this, you can clearly know what is the mass transfer operation. Okay, everybody can see the live board on the screen. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Live board.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
సార్ ఇంకా 42 రూల్ నెంబర్ని యాడ్ చేయాలని సార్ వాళ్ళు మెసేజ్ పెడుతున్న వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో ఇంకా
సరే రవి, వదిలే వాళ్ళని, ఎవరున్నారు వదిలే. ప్రస్తుతానికి ఈ క్లాస్ అయితే కంటిన్యూ చేద్దాం. ఈ రికార్డింగ్ మళ్ళీ చాట్ బాక్స్లోకి వచ్చేసింది తర్వాత. ఓకే, ఇదే నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ వరకు ఇదే డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. నేను మళ్ళీ పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి, మళ్ళీ స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయాలి, లైవ్ బోర్డ్ చేయాలంటే కష్టమా? ఓకేనా? హలో. యా we will continue with this. Okay. Okay, now I am sharing the live board. You can see through my screen. Okay, mass transfer. Okay, sorry for the bad writing. This can I have using only my finger. Okay, I don't have a stylus. So this is the case. So mass transfer. Then what is the mass transfer? Mass transfer is nothing but transfer of mass from one region to another region. Okay, consider. Okay, first consider this is position 1. Okay, for example, some ball is getting transferred. Consider this sphere as a ball. Now in the second position, position 2, the ball is getting transferred from position 1 to position 2. Whether we may consider this as a mass transfer operation. Okay, in another example, consider a cricket ground. Okay, many boys will be familiar with this. Okay, one batsman is standing and one wicket is there. Okay, a series of 3 wickets will be there, and other side the bowler will be standing. This one is a batsman. Okay, he is a batsman, and one other position is, okay, we will consider a bowler position as position 1, and other batsman position is position 2. Okay, this bowler is throwing the ball. Okay, since ball is also a solid material or some matter, it contains some matter. Okay, so we can refer to as a mass, some mass. Okay, this ball is getting transferred towards the bat. Okay, from here to position 1 to position 2. Now according to the mass transfer definition, what is the definition of mass transfer? Nothing but transfer of mass from one position to another position. Here in the cricket field, that ball is getting transferred, which is nothing but a mass is getting transferred from position 1 to position 2. Now we can refer this operation as a mass transfer. No, we can't refer this as a mass transfer because it is just a throwing operation. The ball is getting throw from the position 1 to position 2. There is no concentration difference. Since if the mass of this ball contains a 1 kg, this ball is, I'm just giving an example. If this ball is 1 kg in the position 1, the ball is similarly 1 kg in the position 2 also. So there is no decrease or increase in the mass. There is no concentration difference. If the concentration C is equal to 1 kilomole here, here also in the position 2 the concentration is 1 kilomole here also. So this is not a mass transfer operation. In order to get a mass transfer operation, we need to have a clear gradient. We need to have a clear individual concentration gradients. Okay, I will give an example. Let's see the salt solution. For example, many times we will prepare a sugar or salt solution in our household operation. If we pour a salt inside the water, what will happen? For example, this is 1 mole. 1 mole of salt is getting transferred to water. Then what will happen? Here the initial position, the salt concentration is 1 mole. Whereas in the salt, in the water, when we added that salt into the water, the concentration is maybe 1 mole, or maybe greater than 1 mole, or maybe less than 1 mole. We can't say because this is a dissolution operation. This is a solution operation, popularly known as dissolution operation. This is a mass transfer operation because there is some concentration difference at position 1 and at position 2 there is a concentration difference. So this is clearly a mass transfer operation. Now the salt has been transferred from the solid phase to the liquid phase. Okay, this is known as dissolution or solutioning. Okay, so we need to gauge how much mass transfer has been taken place. So in order to gauge the how much mass transfer is taking place in the particular operation, or here for the particular case it's a dissolution operation, we need to have a flux. Okay, you have seen in the fluid mechanics, or in some courses is referred to as momentum transfer. Okay, in the fluid mechanics, what is the governing equation? It is nothing but a Newton's law of viscosity. Tau x means stress, shear stress in the x direction. Okay, you may be knowing the coordinate system, spatial coordinate system, x, y and z direction. Okay, As far as the bachelor's course is concerned, we will take only the one-dimensional coordinates. So popularly, we will take only x direction. Okay, we will neglect the y direction and z direction. Okay, only one spatial coordinate is taken. So tau, shear stress in the x direction. Shear stress in the x direction we will take, means tau x is equal to minus nu. Okay, simply from the initial terms we can write tau is equal to minus dou u by dou y or dou x, depends on a particular spatial coordinates which we are considering. Okay, if it is a x direction, we will consider the change in the direction x, or if it is a y direction, we will consider dou x. Okay, then the next term is, this is proportionality constant, not equal to. Now we have to incorporate a proportionality constant. Tau x is equal to, then proportionality constant is minus is already there in the first equation itself. So proportionality constant is mu. Mu is viscosity here, dou u by dou x. Okay, this is the Newton's law of viscosity. This is the Newton's law of viscosity. In the similar fashion, in the heat transfer, we will describe the flux as q in the x direction or y direction, whatever the spatial coordinates which we incorporated, is equal to minus k. K is nothing but a thermal conductivity of a particular material. Okay, whether it may be liquid or solid, whether it may be a gas. Okay, dou T, change in temperature with respect to some spatial coordinate x. If this is a x, q subscript is x, then this is also x. If this is a y, then this is also y. Okay, then this is the flux equation. This is known as Fourier equation. Okay, Fourier's law. In the fluid mechanics, which is known as Newton's law of viscosity, here it is known as Fourier's law of heat transfer. And in the mass transfer, okay, frequently these three subjects are dealt frequently in a transport phenomena subject. Okay, you don't have that subject in your course, but these three courses will have an analogy in between them. So we need to discuss relatively based on the particular subject. We can't differentiate this is a mass transfer operation. Industrial operation cannot be differentiated as a, this is only a mass transfer operation, this is only a fluid mechanics operation, or this is only a heat transfer operation. Frequently in every industrial operation, more than one of these operation is taking place. In the distillation, there is a thermal operation also and the mass transfer operation also. Okay, there is a transfer of fluid using the reboiler and etc. Okay, whereas in mixing, there is a mixing with chemical reaction, many chemical reactions are involved in which mass transfer will taking place. So we can't differentiate that a particular operation only belongs to the mass transfer operation. So we need to incorporate certain analogy between these subjects. Okay, fluid mechanics basics is very much important in order to deal with the mass transfer operation. And to deal with the chemical reaction engineering, at the same time the heat transfer operations, we need a strong basis for the fluid mechanics and mass transfer operations. Okay, here in the mass transfer operation, the governing law is Fick's first law of diffusion. Okay, Fick's first law of diffusion. Okay, what is Fick's first law of diffusion? Ja, mass transfer flux, is denoted here as Ja. Ja is directly proportional to minus the concentration gradient dou C. Since here we have written for the CA component, so dou Ca by dou x. Okay, depends on a particular spatial coordinate which we are considering. Okay, so Fick's first law of diffusion is nothing but Ja is directly proportional to minus concentration gradient means dou Ca by dou x, whether it may be x or z or y. Okay, depends on a particular spatial coordinate. Then proportionality constant, we need to replace a proportionality constant. Ja is equal to, minus is already there in the first equation itself. Then Ja is equal to, here the proportionality constant is dA to B. Okay, we can't define a particular single component because there are two components involved in the particular operation. When there is a one component involved in the particular operation, then there is no mass transfer operation taking place. because it is not getting attached to other surface or other components. So there are two components. The meaning of DAB is transfer of or the diffusivity of A through B. A through B. Okay, this is the definition. So proportionality constant here is DAB, which is a diffusivity. So same term, concentration gradient dou Ca by dou X. Okay, this is the Fick's first law of diffusion. Okay, this is very important for any type of mass transfer operation. This is the governing equation for any type of mass transfer operation. Okay, hope you are better understood this one. Okay, we will just summarize what are the operations. Okay, operation, flux, equation. Okay, then first one is fluid mechanics. You can consider fluid mechanics in some courses is referred as momentum transfer. In the fluid mechanics, what is the flux is denoted by tau. Okay, whether it may be x direction or y direction or z direction. Then what is the equation here we use is Newton's law of viscosity. Newton's law of viscosity. I will write the clear equation. Tau x is equal to minus mu dou u by dou y or dou x. Okay, this is the Newton's law of viscosity, which is applicable for fluid mechanics. This is the governing equation in the fluid mechanics. The next one is heat transfer. In the heat transfer, the flux is denoted by Q, small q, Q subscript x, which means flux in the x direction, only one spatial, one directional, one dimensional. Okay, Qx. So here that governing equation is Fourier's law, Fouriers, Fourier's law of heat transfer. Okay, I will write this in the next slide because lack of space. Okay, equation is Qx is equal to minus k dou t by dou x. Okay, this is the governing equation. Fourier's law of heat transfer is the governing equation for heat transfer. Okay, then next is for mass transfer operation. Okay, MTO in a short form, MTO. The flux here is JA. Flux here is denoted by JA. Sometimes it is also denoted by NA. I will clarify that why we denote with JA or NA. So here flux is directly proportional to concentration gradient, and the proportionality constant is diffusivity. DAB is equal to dou Ca by dou Z, or dou X, or dou Y, or dou Z, depends on a particular operation. Okay, let's summarize one more time. The particular for the first operation is fluid mechanics operation. In the fluid mechanics operation, the flux is denoted by tau x, which is nothing but shear stress. Okay, here the equation, governing equation in fluid mechanics is Newton's law of viscosity, which is nothing but tau x is equal to minus mu dou u by dou y, or du by dy. Okay, where tau x is the shear stress, du by dy is nothing but a velocity gradient, or sometimes referred as shear stress. Minus mu is the viscosity, and u is the small u is the velocity, and x is the direction of the fluid transfer. Okay, spatial coordinates, distance, simply the distance we can say. Next one is the heat transfer, which is ht. Okay, then flux is denoted by small q subscript x. Okay, it is known as a heat transfer flux. The governing equation in the heat transfer is Fourier law of heat transfer, which is Qx is equal to minus k dt by dx, where Qx is the heat transfer flux, k is thermal conductivity of a particular material, whether it may be liquid, gas, or solid, anything. Then dou T by dou X is concentration, temperature gradient. It is temperature gradient, where individual T is nothing but a temperature, and x is the distance. Okay, transfer direction and distance. Then next operation is the mass transfer operation. Third one is the mass transfer operation, in which the flux is denoted by JA. Okay, JA is mass transfer flux. Okay, JA governing equation here is the Fick's first law of diffusion. Governing equation in mass transfer is Fick's first law. Okay, JA is equal to minus DAB dou CA by dou X or dou Y or dou Z, where DAB is equal to diffusivity, simply diffusivity or diffusivity of A through B, diffusivity of A through B, and dou CA by dou X is nothing but a concentration gradient, in which the CA is nothing but concentration of A. Okay, concentration of A at a particular point, and X is the direction of a mass transfer or simply a distance traveled by a particular body or particular distance. Okay, these are the governing equations. Okay, hope you understood this one. Hello. Hello.
Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ravi, అర్థమవుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే, డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే అడగండి.
Heat transfer operation లో Q is equals to MCPM dt.
Q is equal to
MCPM dt.
MCP delta T, అది న్యూటన్స్ లా ఆఫ్ కూలింగ్ అది. ఓకే, ఇది చూడండి లైవ్ బోర్డ్లో నేను చెప్తాను దాని గురించి. ఓకే, ఇన్ హీట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఆపరేషన్ governing law is Fourier's law of heat transfer is Q is equal to Q proportional to minus Q proportional to dt by dx. This is known as Fourier's law. Okay, Q is equal to m dot Cp into delta T. This is Newton's law of heating. Okay, for the transfer, for the conduction case, we will take the first equation, Fourier's law of heat transfer. In the case of where convection is involved, okay, where the fluid and solid phenomena is involved, we will take the concept of Newton's law of cooling. Only for the conduction case, where is the unobservable motion of matter is taking place inside the solid, we will take the Fourier's law of heat conduction or Fourier's law of heat. Okay, simply. Ravi?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, అర్థమైందా?
Yes,
Fourier's law
yes,
అనేది
sir.
కండక్షన్ కన్వెక్షన్ రెండు ఉన్నాయి కదా, కండక్షన్
అర్థమైంది,
కన్వెక్షన్
sir.
రెండు. ఓకే, ఓకే, అందరికి అర్థమైందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
స్క్రీన్స్ పెట్టి వదిలేసారు అలాగే, ఏం వింటాంలే అని.
No, sir.
ఓకే, ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా ఈ ఆపరేషన్లో? మాస్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఆపరేషన్లో ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ క్లియర్ అయితే మొత్తం క్లియర్ అయినట్టు, ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ క్లియర్ అవ్వకపోతే ఏమీ అర్థం కానట్టు. సో ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ అందుకనే ఈ 1 వీక్ డ్రాగ్ చేయాలి ఇలాగే మనం. సో ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి, ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ మెటీరియల్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని చదవండి, అది చాలా బెస్ట్. ఓకేనా రవి, ఎంతసేపు ఉంది క్లాస్? ఇంకా 1
First
అవర్.
class అయిపోయింది, sir. First class అయిపోయింది.
నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్కి వెళ్దామా, లేకపోతే దీన్నే మళ్ళీ డిస్కస్ చేద్దామా? డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఏమైనా అడుగుతారా?
సార్ మీరు CT2 కూడా చెప్తారా సార్?
CT2 ఈ సెమిస్టర్లో నాది, మీకు నేను వచ్చేది CT2 ఒకటి, మాస్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఆపరేషన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఒకటి, ఒక బ్యాచ్కి ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఒకటి.
మరి CT2 ప్రాక్టికల్ అని ఒకటి ఉంది, అదేంటి సార్? దానికి
అది కూడా నాదే, ప్రాక్టికల్ కూడా నాదే.
CT2కి ఏం ప్రాక్టికల్ ఉంటుంది సార్?
CT2కి గ్లూకోజ్ ఎస్టిమేట్ చేయడం, వాటర్ అనాలిసిస్, ఆయిల్ అనాలిసిస్, సపోనిఫికేషన్ వాల్యూ, యాసిడ్ వాల్యూ ఎలా ఎస్టిమేట్ చేస్తాం. నా దగ్గర అది మెటీరియల్ ఉంది, సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ నేను ప్రిపేర్ చేశాను, అది నేను షేర్ చేస్తాను. చూద్దాం, ఏమన్నా ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ అయితే మనం చేయలేము కదా, ఏమన్నా వీడియోస్ ఏమైనా అవైలబుల్గా ఉంటే చూద్దాం, లేదా యానిమేట్ చేయాలి. అది
Yes, sir.
ఓకే. దెన్ ఏం చేద్దాం, ఇది నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ వెళ్దామా లేకపోతే డిస్కస్ చేస్తే బెటర్ అనిపిస్తుంది?
నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ వెళ్దాం సార్.
ఓకే, యా, నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్. Next important topic is definitions. Okay, the major part of this unit is definitions. Definitions is, first one is mass concentration. Okay, mass concentration. Okay, mass concentration is nothing but a density. Okay, then what are the units for density? It is denoted by rho of a particular component, rho I. Okay,
kg per meter cube.
Okay, mass concentration, which is denoted by rho I. Okay, mass is nothing but density is nothing but mi, nothing but a mass divided by volume. Okay, kg per meter cube. Okay, here in the mass transfer operation we didn't discuss about density, only we refer here as a mass concentration. Density is density we referred only for the particular component involved in the system, not for the whole operation. For the whole operation we will define in the mass concentration terms. Okay, whether the units may be the same, but density is different from the mass concentration, because this is defined for the each species involved in the particular operation. Then the next definition is mass fraction. Mass fraction. Okay, mass fraction is denoted by wi. So this is the fraction. This does will not have any units. Okay, we can simply say any fraction will not have a units. So wi is equal to individual component divided by total components, or individual mass concentration divided by total mass concentration. Rho I divided by sigma. I will write in the next slide, lack of space. Okay, mass fraction is equal to individual component rho I divided by the sum of the all concentration, sigma rho I. Simply we can write rho I divided by simply rho. Okay, it is for the rho, where rho is overall mass concentration of the species involved in the particular operation, where rho I is for the particular component. For example, we are defining for the A. So mass fraction of A is equal to WA is equal to rho A divided by rho. Okay, if for example there are only two components involved, okay, where there are only two components involved in the system, A and B, then we can write rho I means rho A, mass concentration of A is the mass of A divided by total volume. And similarly for the component B, we can write rho B is equal to mass of B divided by volume. And for the fraction, mass fraction, WI we are denoting. So here mass fraction of A, WA is rho A divided by rho T, or rho total concentration, mass concentration. Okay, I will write in the next slide, lack of space. Okay, WA is equal to individual mass concentration of A. Since W subscript A is there, so rho subscript A will be there. So total mass concentration, rho A plus rho B, is simply rho A divided by rho. Okay, this is the mass fraction of A. And similarly for the mass fraction of B, rho B is equal to rho B divided by rho A plus rho B. So individual component divided by total components is nothing but a fraction. So here simply rho B divided by rho is the mass fraction of B in the particular component. This is applicable only for the two component system. When there are more than two components, for example, consider a C is also there, then in the denominator rho C will be there. Similarly here also rho C will be there if there are more than two components involved. N number of components can be involved. For the N number of components, we will have a N number of mass fractions. So N number of mass concentrations are also involved. If it is a C is also there, then we can write C, mc divided by V. So similarly here also, WC is equal to rho C divided by rho. So rho is equal to rho A plus rho B plus rho C. So for the N number of components, we can write N number of mass concentrations and at the same type of mass fractions. And second definition is molar concentrations. Molar concentration. So mass concentration is denoted by rho and mass fraction is denoted by W. So here the molar concentration is denoted by C. Okay. Ci is equal to here moles Ni, the particular moles of a particular component divided by volume. So here simply we can say molar concentration is nothing but a concentration. So units here is moles per unit volume, moles per meter cube or moles per liter. These are the units for molar concentration. So the definition of molar concentration is Ci is equal to Ni by V, where Ci is the molar concentration, Ni is the moles of a particular component divided by total volume of the particular solution. So units are mole per meter cube or mole per liter. Okay, this is the molar concentration. Then what is the mole fraction? The next one is the mole fraction. So mole fraction I will write in the next slide. So mole fraction is denoted by X. So for the particular component ith component, we can write mole fraction is individual moles divided by total moles. Ci divided by C, simply C. For example, for the similar case, we can consider only two components are involved, A and B. Now the molar concentration of A is equal to Ca is equal to Na, moles of A in a particular system divided by total volume. Similarly for B, Cb is equal to moles of B divided by volume, total volume. If there is a C component is also there, then simply we can write Cc is equal to Nc by V. Okay, as far as your syllabus is concerned, only two component systems are involved. Okay, we don't have to bother about a third component. There is no third component as per your syllabus. Only two components you can consider. Okay, this is a simple, only two components are very easy phenomena we can consider. And next we have to discuss about mole fraction. So consider only two components are involved. So mole fraction is X for the A fraction. Mole fraction of A is equal to Xa is equal to concentration, molar concentration of A divided by total molar concentration of a solution. Means since only two components are involved, A and B, Ca plus Cb is equal to Ca by simply C. It can be denoted by simply C. Similarly for the component B, Xb is equal to Cb divided by Ca plus Cb is equal to Cb by C. Okay, this is the mole fractions for the two component system, and these two equations are the molar concentrations for the two component system. These are the two very two important solution concentration expression phenomena. These two are frequently used in your problems, at the same time in the derivations. Okay, then we will consider a fluxes. Okay, what are the fluxes? I will discuss more detail in the later classes, but I need to define a certain terminology. What are the terminologies involved in this particular course? I have to just define it. Okay, when we consider there are two types of fluxes are involved in the mass transfer operation with respect to the particular reference point. Okay, depending on the particular reference point, the flux denotation, the flux notation will change. How that flux notation will change, we will just see. Okay, consider the fluxes. Okay, there are two notations are possible. One is J, or next one is N. Okay, with respect to the particular reference point, how we can use this two denominations for the flux we can see here. Okay, consider the example here. One stream is there. You can consider this as an ocean, or you consider this as a simple pond. You consider this as a simple river. Okay, simple river is just flowing here, in which one observer is there on a ship. Okay, one small ship is there. Okay, sorry for the drawing. Okay, yeah, one ship is there. Consider this is a ship. Okay, one observer is there, one person is there, in which he is observing. Okay, he is just floating in the in that stream. Okay, for example, this stream or this ship or that observer motion is denoted by velocity u naught. Okay, his velocity, he is having a velocity of u naught. Okay, then he is interested. Remember, in every type of chemical engineering operation, we will consider a control volume. Okay, first we have to know the what is control volume, what is not non-control volume. Okay, control volume is nothing but a particular matter or a particular region at which we are showing some interest to study. Okay, if we consider this region, this region is our interested region. Okay, for example, the control region is nothing but, if you like a fluid mechanics course very much, since it's a first chemical engineering subject you study in the first semester or the first year or second year. Okay, probably, or the mass and energy balance you like a most, means it's a controlled subject. Okay, you like the most, you like the subject particularly very useful, or uh, when you do the subject you will feel very happy. So it is your control subject, you can refer to as a control subject. Here, this particular observer who is floating around the stream in a ship is having a observation only in this particular region. Okay, I will just use a different color. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If the figure here in the stream, which I have given in a green color, is nothing but a control volume. Control volume means the observer is having an interest in that particular region, in that particular land. He is having an interest. Okay. For example, in this region, we are having some fishes. Okay, some fish is flowing in this control volume. Then this observer wants to uh, then this observer wants to count this number of fishes, or number of fish are there in this control element or a control volume. So he want to study, his interest of study is only to study how many fishes are inside this control volume. Okay, he want to study that. So in terms of flux he can express. So in this control volume, the flow of the what we call the ship, the fish velocity is denoted by uy. So each fish will have a particular velocity, depends on its mass or depends on its activity, it will have some velocity. Okay, he needs to count how many fishes are inside, so he need to express that in terms of flux. Okay, he is counting nothing but number of fishes. The counting of number of fishes is nothing but a counting of mass. So here the mass transfer is taking place. The observer is clearly observing how many fishes are there in the particular control volume. So he is observing how many fishes are there. So I am once again drawing that particular figure here for the clarification. Okay, if you don't understand this concept, just immediately ask me. So this is the important concept. So define a flux. Okay, the stream is there in which ship is floating and one observer is there who is observing a control volume. Okay, who is observing a control volume in which the fishes are there. In the blue color I am showing the fishes. Okay, neglect the figure, but concentrate on the color. Okay, in the blue portion I am showing the fishes floating around this control volume. In the green color I am showing the control volume. The observer is having only interest on this particular region, how many fishes are flowing. The observer is at velocity u naught. Okay, he is having a velocity u naught, and these fishes in this control volume, these fishes are having the velocity ui, depends on the particular fish velocity, activity, and the mass of the velocity. This observer is only concentrating how many fishes. His observation is only to study how many fishes are there in the particular control volume. Then we need to define. He started counting that number of fishes in that control volume. So he need to express that number of fishes in this control volume in this particular stream in terms of fluxes. So Ni, the mass transfer flux Ni with respect to the stationary coordinate. When this fisherman is at stagnant position, he is in a standing position, he is just freely flowing with this stream. He doesn't operate his motor, he is not at all just going along, he is only going along the stream, he doesn't operate his motor. So he is in a stagnant position. Then when he is in a stagnant position, he is expressing the concentration of that fishes. When he is expressing this in a molar concentration, we can define Ni is equal to Ci, or simply we can consider the mass concentration C. In the mass concentration, we can express it as rho I. Okay, number of fishes or their mass concentration of fishes present in that particular control volume into the velocity of that particular fish inside this control volume minus u naught. Okay, this is the flux definition. Okay, if this observer is at zero velocity, stagnant position, he is observing but just remaining at one position, he is just observing that number of fishes present in that particular control volume, then this u naught is equal to 0, since that fisherman is at stagnant position. So we can write here Ni, mass transfer flux with respect to a stationary coordinates, rho I into just simply ui. Since he is in a stagnant position, his velocity is 0, u naught is 0. In terms of molar concentration, it is Ci into ui, just simply ui. Okay, this is the mass transfer flux with respect to stationary coordinates. Stationary coordinates or stagnant coordinate, when the observer is at stagnant position. And then next, if we consider he is just flowing, okay, he operated his motor, he is also floating along the stream using his motor, he is also flowing, then this velocity u naught will have a particular value. Then the observer, now the fish's count will be deviate, because when he is observing by remaining in a stagnant position, the fish counts will be less or more, depends on a particular fisherman, the aptitude or attitude of a particular fisherman. When he is also flowing and these fishes are also in a dynamic nature, means he will count his flux in terms of J quantity. So here we can express in terms of J, when that fisherman is also flowing along the stream, along with the stream using his motor, and streams are also flowing, so control volume will have a different count, different flux. So Ja is equal to rho I into ui minus u naught. Here you can see the clear difference. U naught is not 0 because he is not in a stagnant position. He is also floating. He is also diving. He is also diving inside the stream. Whereas in the Ni definition, we can consider that u naught is constant. He is not at all diving. He is just remain at one particular position, and he is just observing how many fishes are there. But in this JI, when he is expressing his aptitude or his count in a JI, he is also just floating around the stream. He is also diving. Okay, so here u naught is not a zero value. So JI is equal to, in terms of molar concentration, Ci into u naught ui minus u naught. Okay, now I hope you clearly understood the difference between expression of various fluxes. Okay, there are two types of fluxes involved in the mass transfer operation. One is defined with a stationary coordinate system or a stagnant coordinate system, when the observer is just observing by retaining in one particular position. Okay, he is expressing his concentration, he is expressing a particular species concentration by remaining in a stagnant position, he is expressing. Okay, whereas he is also flowing along the stream, his velocity, he is having a particular velocity, and at the same time the particular observation is also having a particular velocity. Both are having moving with some particular velocity. So this is the flux with respect to some arbitrary position, arbitrary coordinate system or arbitrary position. Why I am referring here a arbitrary coordinate? He is not stagnant at a particular coordinate system. He is moving in a x direction. He is also moving in a y direction. He is also moving in a z direction. Okay, in a three-dimensional way he can move. Okay, possibly he can move in a x direction, he can move in a y direction, he can move in a z direction. But the control volume is same. The observer is observing only the same control volume which he is observing in the n case, capital N case. Okay, control volume is same, only the position of the observer is changing. When in the n case, in the ni case, he is remaining stagnant at a particular position and just counting the number of fishes in the particular control volume. Whereas in the j case, in this case, in the j case, he is also moving, he is also diving in the stream, and at the same time the control volume is just dynamic in nature. In that particular control volume, the fishes are just dynamically moving. So there are two velocities involved in this particular expression of fluxes. Okay, these two are the fluxes. I hope this you understood this one with this example, fishes. Okay, everybody understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everybody. ఎవరికైనా తెలుగులో కావాలా ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్? హలో,
No, sir.
ఎవరికి అక్కర్లేదు. ఓకే.
No, sir.
ఓకే రవి, ఎంత టైం ఉంది?
Half an hour, sir.
హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ ఉంది. ఓకే, యా. Okay, I will just go through your first unit. You can just have a look on it. Okay, how to read this particular document. I have scanned through the scanner. Okay, the first one is the definition of molecular diffusion. You can see through my screen. The first one is the definition of molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. Okay, we already defined what is molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. Molecular diffusion is nothing but a diffusion which is taking place in a laminar flow. Okay, once again I will just explain the concept of molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. Okay, yeah, diffusions. Okay, you can look into my screen. Consider some Stefan tube. This is popularly known as a Stefan tube or a two-bulb tube. Okay, this Stefan author who conducted the experiment of diffusion. Okay, this is popularly known as Stefan tube. Just look into this. There are some molecules in a bulb or a tube. Okay, these two tubes are separated with a these two bulbs are separated with a needle, using a needle. There is no mass transfer initially. Okay, when we remove this needle, next one we can draw here. Okay, when I remove this needle, just lifted that needle, the molecules from A bulb will get transferred to the bulb B. It gets filled from A to B. Okay, this we can see these molecules are just getting transferred from bulb A to bulb B in a laminar flow fashion. The molecular size here will be same, and here the molecular size will be same. There is no deviation in the molecular size. They are not at all forming a cluster. Okay, they are not at all forming agglomerates here. Okay, whereas in the case of yeah, whereas in the case of eddy diffusion, when you remove this from the bulb A to bulb B, there will be some clusters. During this transformation, the molecules will combine with each other. There they will form a cluster because there will be more interaction between the A molecule and B molecule when the diffusivity or the transport phenomena is taking place in a turbulent condition, or a what we call eddy phenomena. Okay, the interaction between molecule A and molecule B will be very high. So these are just colliding with each other. A is colliding with B a frequent number of times, and B is colliding at the vice versa. They are just colliding. Whereas in the molecular diffusion, the collision between A and B are very limited or very slow. Okay, because of this, the eddy diffusion, because of these collisions, so the frequent collision, the number of times. For example, in 1 second, the collision between A and B is considered. For example, we are just considering a simple case. In 1 second, the collision between A and B is one time, whereas in eddy diffusion case, the collision may be 100 or 1000 or 1 lakh times. Okay, the eddy diffusion will takes place at very high rates, and it will takes place in a less period of time. It will takes place. Okay, consider, for example, if we consider this salt solution, you can try in your home. Okay, there is certain amount of water present here in a tank. Okay, you have some salt, okay, CaCO3, okay, calcium carbonate, or just simply you can consider it like quicklime, CaO. Okay, quicklime or calcium carbonate is getting dissolved in water. Okay, to get dissolved this particular component in the water, it will take 28 to 30 years. Okay, without any external aid, just you are pouring the CaCO3 into the water. Okay, you are not at all applying any external force in transferring that CaCO3 to water. Okay, in a simple manner, to takes place in molecular diffusion from CaCO3 to water, you will have to wait for the uniform concentration to attain a 99.99 concentration of CaCO3 in water. You have to wait 29 to 30 years roughly. But the experiments, many scientists have proven this. You have to wait for 28 to 30 years. Whereas this carbonate or simply a salt to dissolve in a water, when you apply a agitation, external force, agitator, okay, the same phenomena you can observe. This agitator is just rotating to and fro, and this will create some agglomeration. This will create some eddies inside it, and it will take 6 to 7 hours. Okay, therefore you can observe a time difference between the eddy diffusion and molecular diffusion. Where is 28 to 30 years, where is 6 to 7 years. So the diffusion phenomena using eddy diffusion is most preferable in most industrial operation. Without this eddy diffusion, eddy diffusivity, we have to wait years and years in order to successfully have that particular operation. Okay, eddy diffusions are frequently used in any industrial type operation. Okay, then next one is equilibrium. We have to define the equilibrium. When some particular operation is carrying out, we have to define equilibrium. So in the heat transfer operation, if you see, equilibrium means the temperature T1 and the body 2 is having a temperature T2. Okay, equilibrium will be reached when T1 is equal to T2. Okay, I am assuming that you know this one, temperature equilibrium, since we have already studied in IPC, instrumentation and process control. Okay, if we consider T1 as the body's temperature which we have measured, and consider T2 as a thermometer. Okay, if we consider T2 as a thermometer, when T1 is at 100 degrees centigrades, our aim is to measure 100 degrees centigrades, and our aim is to show the thermometer bulb is also at 100 degrees centigrades. If these two are at same temperature, then we will have a accurate and ideal reading. Then that particular thermometer is doesn't have any dynamic error. Okay, this is the necessary condition for the thermal equilibrium in the heat transfer. Whereas in the mass transfer, the equilibrium, how the equilibrium will be reached in the two bodies, the transfer bodies, the chemical potential. Okay, most probably you would have studied in the thermodynamic subjects. Okay, the equivalence of chemical potential. Chemical potential is nothing but a partial molar Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy is denoted by G. G is H minus Ts. Okay, enthalpy minus temperature into entropy. Okay, G is equal to Gibbs free energy. Okay, one another quantity is also there, the degree of useful energy. A is equal to Helmholtz free energy. H is equal to U minus free chemical potential. Okay, which is denoted by chemical potential is equal to partial molar Gibbs free energy. Capital G is Gibbs free energy and partial molar is Ni into at constant temperature, constant pressure and other species, which is not equal to ith species. Okay, Ravi, hello.
Yes, sir.
లైవ్ బోర్డ్ మూవ్ అవుతుందా?
సార్ మూవ్ అవ్వలేదు ఇప్పుడు.
మూవ్ అవ్వలేదా? ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు మధ్యలో ఆగిపోయింది సార్ సడన్ గా, అప్పటి నుంచి అవ్వట్లేదు. ఒక
ఓకే,
2
ఓకే.
మినిట్స్ ముందు సడన్ గా మధ్యలో ఆగిపోయింది.
ఏ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు యూ మైనస్ దగ్గర ఆగిపోయింది కదా?
Yes.
ఓకే, ఓకే. యా ఓకే, ఇష్యూ నేను చూస్తాను ఒకసారి. Okay, I will just create a new board. Just wait. Okay. Okay, I think now it is working. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. As we are discussing the thermal equilibrium, so thermal equilibrium is just a simple equilibrium. T1 is equal to T2. In the mass transfer operation, as per a thermodynamically concerned, it is a complex operation, mass transfer operation. So we have to define a chemical potential also here. So equivalence of chemical potential is the necessary criteria. So chemical potential. Okay, chemical potentials needs to be equal. So chemical potential is denoted by mu I. Don't confuse with the viscosity. Viscosity is just referred in the fluid mechanics, not here. So here mu I is nothing but a chemical potential. Mu I for the first component, mu I eighth component. For example, I am directly writing a and mu b for the second component is mu b needs to be equal. Then only it is mass transfer has been reached at equilibrium condition. Okay, we can just define the mu I is nothing but chemical potential is nothing but partial molar Gibbs free energy. So dou G of Ni at constant temperature pressure and J not equal to I. Okay, so jth component is not equal to ith component. Okay, this is only the partial molar quantity, means it is dependent only on the particular one species. Okay, jth component, it may be n components or any number of components will be there. Okay, we know that G is equal to Helmholtz Gibbs free energy is nothing but G is equal to enthalpy minus temperature into entropy, whereas this is degree of unuseful energy and degree of useful energy. We can just write a Helmholtz free energy. A is equal to U minus Ts. Okay, H is the enthalpy, T is temperature, S is entropy. A is equal to Helmholtz free energy. G is Gibbs free energy. U is equal to internal energy. Minus T is temperature, S is entropy. Okay, you don't have to bother about this equation. I am just revising your basics. What is chemical potential? Chemical potential is nothing but a partial molar Gibbs free energy. Okay, in order to attain a thermodynamic equilibrium or a mass transfer equilibrium, we need to have a chemical potential of species 1 is equal to chemical potential of species 2. Then only a equilibrium is possible in mass transfer operation. Okay, you have to just remember this statement. When only the chemical potentials of a particular components are equal, then only a mass transfer operation should be called as a equilibrium or thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, then only those will return to the equilibrium. Okay, then you would have know the ideal gas law equation. Okay, we have to define the STP, standard temperature and pressure conditions. STP conditions, generally known as standard temperature and pressure conditions. STP full form is standard temperature and pressure condition. So what are the STP conditions? 0 degree centigrades and 1 atmosphere. Okay, standard temperature and pressure conditions. So standard temperature is 0 degree centigrades and standard pressure is 1 atmosphere. Whereas NTP condition is nothing but the temperature is at room temperature 25 degrees centigrades and pressure is at 1 atmosphere. Okay, these two are the popular concepts maybe in the your mass and energy balance or chemical process calculations subjects. Okay, these two definitions, without this we can't go in the mass transfer operations. So okay, you have to remember these two: standard temperature and pressure and normal temperature and pressure conditions. So standard temperature and pressure conditions are nothing but 0 degree centigrades temperature and 1 atmosphere pressure. Normal temperature and pressure conditions are nothing but 25 degrees centigrades and 1 atmosphere pressure. Okay, how these particular quantities are useful for your mass transfer operations? Not only the mass transfer operation, in every type of chemical engineering operation, these quantities are particularly very much helpful. Okay, as per the thermodynamic laws, okay, 1 mole of any gas, 1 mole of any gas, okay, for example, consider a container in which 1 mole of any gas is there, 1 mole of gas is there. The total volume, what this law is saying, the total volume of this gas is nearly 22.4 liters. Okay, for more accuracy, we will consider 22.414 liters. Okay, we will neglect the last two digits. Only we will consider 22.4. Okay, the thermodynamic laws are saying that any gas, any particular gas, when it is occupied in a 1 mole quantity, it will occupy a total volume of 22.414 liters. Okay, any gas, whether it may be ideal or any ideal gas it is referring. Okay, so then ideal gas law. What is ideal gas law? PV is equal to nRT, where P is the pressure. Okay, you may know this equation, but I am just revising it. So V is the volume, N is small n is moles, R is universal gas constant, and capital T is temperature. Okay, I am just once again revising. Ideal gas law is nothing but PV is equal to nRT, where capital P is pressure, V is volume, and small n is moles, R is universal gas constant, and capital T is temperature. Okay, how this law is useful for your mass transfer course. So PV is equal to nRT. So in this nRT, we have to derive the R universal gas constant values. Okay, frequently you have to use this equation in solving the diffusion problems. So R values, whether you make a you just remember the R values, otherwise using your basics you can derive. Okay, it is a good idea to just derive using the basic laws, this R value, the basic R value, then you can convert to any type of units. Okay, I will just show one example of how to derive this R equation. So R is equal to, according to this equation, PV by NT. Okay, according to this law, what is the standard temperature and pressure conditions? Standard temperature and pressure according to this, pressure is 1 atmosphere into volume. Just I have said that any gas, when it is occupied in 1 mole quantity, it will have a 22.414 liter. Okay, for the convenience we will write 22.4 liters divided by, so 1 mole is equal to 22.414 liters, and then into temperature. A standard temperature and pressure condition, what is the temperature? 0 degree centigrade. In absolute terminology, it is 273 degree Kelvin. Okay, you can just calculate 22.4 divided by 273. It will come around 0.082006. We will take 0.0821. So units are atma, liter. From here I am taking the units atma, liter per mole, or sometimes simply a gram mole. Okay, when somebody is specifying mole in the problem, it is nothing but a gram mole. When it is a kilomole, he will just specify in a kilomole quantity. Mole means in a universal terminology we can take as gram. Okay, the temperature we express it in Kelvin. So finally, the value of R is equal to 0.0821 with the units atma into liter per gram mole degree Kelvin. Okay, this is the first R value we can deduce from the basic ideal gas law using the STP condition. From here, we can convert these units. We can operate based on these units. As we know that 1 atma is equal to 760 mmHg. Okay. At the same time, 1 atma is equal to 760 mmHg. At the same time, 1 atma is equal to 101,325 Pascal. Okay, using this we can convert the pressure to pressure from atma to mmHg. At the same time, pressure from atma to Pascal. Okay, usually in the Pascal terminology we will generally use that one. So R is equal to 0.0821. So in order to convert that particular quantity into Pascal, we need to just multiply with 101,325. So it will just convert into Pascal. So then the 0.0821 is expressed in atma into liter. 1 liter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter cube. I will write here that one. I will write here only. 1 liter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter cube. Okay, I am just converting into SI units. Okay, so already units are in liters. So 101,325 into 10 power minus 3 divided by, already in mole it is, so we don't have to divide with anything. Atma liter per gram mole degree Kelvin, we can keep degree Kelvin. This quantity, this particular quantity units will be Pascal into meter cube per mole or gram mole degree Kelvin. Okay, it should come around 8.314. Yes. Okay, so you can verify this one, 8.314 or 8.314 it will come most probably. Okay, these R value, if you know how to derive this particular R value, R is equal to 0.0821. You don't have to mug up any values, any R values. There are around 15 to 16 R values for each type of units. For SI units, FPS units, MKS units, whether any type of unit system, you will have a 16 type of units. Okay, depending on problem, you need to convert the particular units. If you remember how to derive this R value, basic R, know how to convert that values, then it is easy in every type of problem. If in the exam you will encounter any type of units, so if you remember this value, it is very easy. And how to convert this value, these are the useful quantities. 1 atma is equal to 760 mmHg and 1 atma is equal to 101,325 pascals. At the same time, 1 liter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter cube. These are the three useful quantities. If you remember this basic equation 0.0821 and these three conversion formulas, you can have the 16 type of R values which can be frequently used in the problems. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. అర్థమైందా రవి? హలో.
Yes, sir.
యా. ఓకే. డౌట్స్ ఏం లేవు కదా? ఒకసారి రివైజ్ చేస్తాను.
No, sir.
Okay, Jen, I will quickly revise whatever I have told you today. So first one is regarding the molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. Molecular diffusion is the diffusion which takes place in a laminar flow without forming any eddies. Okay, whereas in the eddy diffusion takes place due to the formation of cluster or due to the formation of some agglomerates in the system. Okay, due to the formation of some wakes. Okay, these two operations will differentiate in terms of their easy of operation when the particular transfer operation is taking place in the laminar flow region. The particular type of diffusion is known as molecular diffusion. When a particular type of mass transfer operation is taking place in the turbulent region, it is known as eddy diffusion region. Since eddy diffusion is a very fast diffusion, and it will just complete a operation in very quick time. Okay, unlike in the case of molecular diffusion, in order to complete a molecular diffusion without any externally aided force, we have to wait for years and years to complete a single operation. Whereas if we incorporate some external force into the operation, as in the example I have said that agitator at a certain RPM, if you rotate that agitator at a certain RPM, we will have that operation to be completed within a few hours. Okay, this is the major difference between the molecular diffusion and eddy diffusion. And then next one is the definition of diffusivities. Okay, in the molecular diffusion, we will use a fixed first law of diffusion in order to derive a equation which is governing the mass transfer operation. We frequently use the fixed first law of diffusion. Fixed first law of diffusion is nothing but JA is equal to minus DAB dou CA by dou Z, or dou X, or dou Y, or dou Z. Okay, depends on a particular spatial coordinate system which we are considering. When it is a three-dimensional system, we just add a spatial coordinates. JA is equal to minus DAB dou CA by dou X plus minus DAB dou CA by dou Y plus minus DAB dou CA by dou Z. Okay, if it is a three-dimensional. Okay, for your syllabus it is only one dimensional. We don't have to bother about the next two dimension. Just simply the fixed first law of diffusion as per your syllabus is just JA is equal to minus DAB dou CA by dou Z or dou X. Okay, this is simply a fixed first law of diffusion, in which the first term is JA is equal to mass transfer flux with respect to some arbitrary coordinate system. Okay, then DAB is equal to diffusivity, simply diffusivity or diffusion of A through B, diffusivity of A through B. Then CA is equal to concentration of A involved in the particular operation. X is the distance traveled by that particular distance or path traveled by that operation. Okay, then next one is the concentration definitions. Sorry, concentration definitions. Okay, concentration is usually expressed three types of concentration we can express. Okay, volume concentration is also there. Okay, I will discuss that in next class. Okay, for you, according to the problems, there are frequently two types of concentrations are encountered. One is the mass concentration, which is denoted by rho, and next one is the molar concentration, which is denoted by C. Okay, what is the mass concentration? Rho is equal to, or rho I for the particular species is equal to mass mi divided by total volume of the solution. Okay, who is having a units of kg per meter cube. Okay, the next one is mass fraction. So mass fraction, any type of fraction, is nothing but individual component divided by total components. So if we consider only two components are there in the system, so mass concentration or mass fraction, mass concentration of a component A is nothing but rho A is equal to ma divided by V, and mass fraction is nothing but WA is equal to rho A divided by capital rho. Then capital rho, what is the capital rho? If there are only two components involved in the system, capital rho is nothing but summation of the total number of components. Here in the case is rho A plus rho B. Then molar concentration is denoted by C. If we consider only two components are there in the system, so Ca is equal to moles, Na, small na divided by V, moles. Then what is moles? Moles is nothing but weight by molecular weight. Okay, simply weight by molecular weight is nothing but moles. So molar concentration is nothing but moles divided by volume. Then next one is mole fraction. Mole fraction is denoted by X. So for the particular component is denoted as Xi. If we consider only two components are involved in the particular system, then we can define Xa is equal to Ca divided by C. Overall C is nothing but Ca plus Cb. Okay, this is the relationship. This is nothing but a concentration definitions expressing the concentration in terms of mass and molar. Okay, then next one is equilibrium. Okay, in the case of heat transfer, simply T1 is equal to T2. The body first temperature is equal to the first body temperature is equal to second body temperature. We can say that particular operation is attained, particular thermal operation has attained a thermal equilibrium if T1 is equal to T2. Whereas in the mass transfer operation or the chemical reaction engineering or the mass energy balance, will the definition of a equilibrium is little bit complex because here the chemical potentials are involved. Chemical potentials are usually denoted by mu I for the particular species, which is nothing but a partial molar Gibbs free energy. Partial molar Gibbs free energy is frequently called as chemical potential. So mu I is equal to dou Ng, dou capital G divided by dou Ni at constant temperature and pressure and species apart from the ith component. Okay, this is nothing but a partial molar Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy is defined as the difference between the enthalpy and entropy. H is equal to G is equal to H minus Ts, and Helmholtz free energy A is equal to U minus Ts. Difference between the internal energy and entropy is nothing but a Helmholtz free energy. Difference between the enthalpy and entropy is nothing but a Gibbs free energy. Okay, these are the two useful quantities for the available work. The system, the available energy which can be used by the particular system can be expressed in terms of Gibbs free energy and Helmholtz free energy. Okay, then next one is the relationship between diffusivities and fluxes. Okay, what are the fluxes involved in the mass transfer operation? There are two types of fluxes involved in the mass transfer operation. The two types of fluxes are one which is expressed with respect to the arbitrary coordinate system, and second one is expressed in terms of the stationary coordinate system. Okay, these two. The arbitrary coordinate system, the flux which is expressed using arbitrary coordinate system is denoted by JA or J, capital J. The flux which is expressed with respect to stationary coordinate system is nothing but which is expressed in capital N. Okay, how we can differentiate N and J? Okay, only simply by the differentiating between the spatial coordinate system. As I have given the example of a stream in which the particular observer is diving using a just floating using a ship, in which he is observing a control volume, particular control volume. For the control volume in which the mass, I have given an example of fish. He is just counting number of fishes inside the system. So he is counting that particular number of fishes inside the control volume and expressing his expressing that concentration of fishes inside that particular control volume in terms of fluxes. When he is staying in a stagnant position and expressing that concentration of fishes over there, then that particular quantity is known as Ni. Ni is equal to Ui into rho I or Ui into Ci. When he is also floating along the stream, okay, he is using his motor vehicle, he is using his ship to float around the stream and observing that particular concentration of fishes in the control volume, then that particular flux is expressed in J quantity, which is nothing but flux with respect to some arbitrary coordinate.